So now let's see how we are going to be able to install an SSH client. And this is a software that is going to help us to connect to our VPS server as root or as a pseudo privilege in order to install both MailWizz and our postal SMTP server. So if you're working on Windows, this particular software, PuTTY, just go to putty.org, is actually a free and open source software for Windows users. Just click on this first link. If you scroll down, you're going to see different versions. Just look for the one that is compatible with your system. For instance, if you're using 64-bit, if your Windows is running on 64-bit, you can download this particular one. For 32-bit, you can also look for 32-bit and also download for 32-bit. So this is all for Windows. If you click on this download, you see locating a folder. If I double click, it's not going to open because this is not a Mac, a Macintosh application. All right, it's actually a Windows application, so it's practically not going to open here. So for Mac users, I have an alternative. Mac actually came with a default terminal that you can use to connect to the root of your VPS server. But for now, let's go to our voter account. This is the VPS that we configured for the installation of our MailWizz on CyberPanel. If you look very well, you're going to see the sign of the logo of CyberPanel. So this is the particular server for CyberPanel. All right, just click on this three-dotted icon. You see server details. So I'm going to be showing you how you'll be able to log into the root of your VPS through the normal default Mac terminal. So this is your IP address, your server IP address. Just click on it to copy. Then come and going to this your Mac search bar. Just search terminal. So in order to connect, just type. And by the way, I'm going to provide this code in the resource and download station so that you'll be able to just do copy and paste. Just type SSH space root at your IP address Ctrl-D. Now it's asking you for your password. And for the record, if you did not bring this password population, it might show you, if you're logging in for the first time using your mic, might show you footprint. Is because the server hasn't updated the current footprint. All you go to do is to type yes, Y-E-S. The Y is going to be in small letter. All right, but since it did not ask us, I'm going to copy the password. Copy the password, then paste. And don't worry, you can't see the password because of security reasons. You can see this key icon. It shows that the password is actually secure for whatever security reason. Just click on enter. You're going to be brought to the root of your VPS. And if I expand this, you're going to see cyber panel by Lightspeed. You're going to see the direct link. This is the direct link if you want to access our cyber panel. And we are going to be accessing it via port 8090. Because practically anything you do online, you need port to solve the internet. You need port to connect to a Linux operating system. You need port to establish an SSL. For a website to load an SSL certificate, you need a particular port for the loading. In order to send email, which we are going to be doing in this course, we're going to be sending via port 25. That is the reason why you should remember the video where we configured for the VPS that we're going to be using to install our postal SMTP. We made sure that the VPS has port 25 open. So without port 25 open in the VPS server, you won't be able to send emails out. I mean, mass outgoing email, not incoming email, all right? So what I'm just trying to establish is that to perform any action on the internet, you need a particular port for that action to be open. For instance, to log into CyberPanel, we need port 8090 to be open, all right? And in subsequent video, maybe in the next video, we're going to be seeing how we are going to, because I don't want this video to be long, we're going to see how we're going to be getting our CyberPanel details. Because if you know, when we installed CyberPanel on our Ubuntu VPS, we did not really define the login password for the CyberPanel. All right. In some cases, if you're installing CyberPanel manually, you can do this, but since this is an automatic installation, there is no option for that, and I'm going to show you how the whole system of CyberPanel is going to automatically generate a very strong password for you. So This is it for logging into the root of your VPS via the command line. If you look at it, you see that you are running this as root, meaning that you are the sole owner of this server and you have the highest level of privilege to either create a group and to give access permission to maybe a group and others that might have access to this server. You can install software and you can do a lot of things, which maybe if you create a group or others that have access to the server, they will not be able to do all those unless you give them the privilege. You can give them a pseudo privilege, which you're going to be able to explain all these privileges later. All right. Let me close this so that we can see how we can automatically do this, irrespective of if you want to run this on Windows or Mac. So I really prefer going the software way, because anytime if I'm using my Mac terminal, all the time I need to be doing SSH space root at my IP address, and I will put the password before I'll be able to access the root of my VPS. But if I install a particular software, it's going to help me in the case of if I'm running or I have more than one VPS server, I'll be able to store all the login details. I don't need to be putting in all the login details each and every time that I want to do anything on the different VPS servers. All right, just come and type Termius. You're going to see that the way PuTTY was only available for Windows users, this is actually available for both Windows and Mac users, and that is really what made it exceptionally okay. All right, I'll be able to add virtually unlimited server. Though there's a paid version, but it cannot limit you from performing any action. So this is what the Termius official website look like, and if you scroll down, you're going to see that Termius is available on Play Store and is also available on Apple Store. I've actually tried running this on my phone. I downloaded the Termius application and running it on my phone, but I didn't have a good experience with it, so I don't really recommend you run it with your phone unless you just simply want to install something or perform an action on your server or delete something. But if it's not in the case of emergency, I highly recommend that you run this on your system. So if you come there, you're going to see it's available for Mac, it's available for Windows, and it's available for Linux. So since I'm running on Mac, if you're running on Windows, just download the one for Windows. You just have to download it. If you're running official Linux operating system, just download it. Since I'm running Mac, I'm going to download this. But I already have the downloaded version of this file. So all I got to do is I'm going to show you now. If I come to my download and type Termius, you're going to see that I have the termius.dmg. If you come, you see that the .dmg file. All right, if you download it, it's going to be showing the file name with the extension termius.dmg. So if I come here and double click, so here I can be able to drag this. Once you drag this into your application, it's going to automatically copy. All right, it's going to automatically copy and get installed automatically. All right, so this is how you'll be able to download Termius and also connect your IP address and your password, and also connect to the root of your VPN. So let's see how we'll be able to add our login details. If you come here and copy your IP address and I've already installed it. All right, I just got to open it. It's open. Once you open it, this is what the interface is going to look like. So I have other figure services. Let me try to remove all of them. Remove. So what I'm going to do is click on new host. Once you click on new host, just look at the right hand side. It's going to populate. Just input your IP address. This is your old IP address or host name. You can actually input your host name if you map your domain name. We are going to still talk about domain mapping. I'm still going to talk about domain mapping. All right. Let me copy the IP address. Whereas if you map the domain name, you just put in your host name, which is virtually your domain name. All right, because you've already connected or mapped it with your server IP. So if I paste this, then if you come down and remember to connect your Linux operating system, just like I said, I explained about port and connecting to server panel. For you to connect to your Linux operating system, you are connecting via port 22. As you can see, the port number here is 22. All right, here we are going to be inputting our server username. We come down, you see that our server username is root and our password. We just copy our password. We want to see the password, you just click on the icon, copy, come here, username. It will come from back, click on this, click on it again, edit, can add our password there. Save. So I've added my password. And again, another thing I want to talk about this is I can actually add a label so that it's actually going to look like so that I'll be able to remember it by the way. If I write the cyber, I can name it cyber MailWizz, right? And I can click on this and look at the cyber MailWizz. If I double click, and it might not log in automatically because it might still be having the previous footprint. All right, we just have to wait for it to complete. Voila! As you can see, if you look at it, you're going to also see cyber panel, okay, by Lightspeed cyber panel, just like we saw on our Mac terminal. Then look at, they told you can get the cyber panel admin password by running the following command: sudo cat.lightspeed_password. And in our own case, we don't necessarily need to run this sudo privilege because we are actually running the server as the admin. We are the real owners of the VPS server, so we have the highest level of privilege. All right, so this sudo privilege is actually when you don't have root access, and you can use this sudo privilege to temporarily have root access in order to install softwares and perform a lot of actions that is exclusively left for the root owner of this VPS to run. All right, so we don't necessarily, if you run the sudo cat.lightspeed_password, it's going to work, but it's more or less like asking somebody for what you already have, and it's not really going to make sense. All right. So in the next video, we are going to see how we are going to run this simple command and get our cyber panel login details and log into our cyber panel. All right. Until then, we're going to see.